Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we do here is build the belief in you to accomplish your dreams in your sport. I'll be your mentor and give you the skills, strategies, and guidance to make it happen. Dream big, believe in you, and go after your dreams. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey there, Tiff here. Welcome to Tiffany Mika podcast. Lovely to have you back. I'm so excited to share this with you today. And the reason I'm going to share what I'm going to share with you today about this killing your sport is because I noticed something that I was doing last week when I was playing golf. And I was like, man, this takes me back to when I used to play tennis when I was a junior. And it's took me back to times in which I didn't know how to use my head properly, and I thought this would be a really good one to share with you today because this is going to help you make sure that you get your head into the right gear so that you perform better when you play your sport. So it's important that you get your head right. It's important that you get focused into your sport when you play, because if you have not mentally prepared to play, whether it be practice, whether you're competing, then it's going to kill your performance out in your sport. So whether you're playing tennis, soccer, you're swimming, you're racing, running racing, you're like sprints, marathons, golf, any sport that you play, if you are not mentally prepared and your mind is not in that mode to play, then it will hold you back. You will be frustrated. Your confidence will take a hit. You will feel that you're not good enough, and you'll also question why are you doing it? Because you're just showing that you're just not good enough today. And then you'll question your future in your sport. And this can happen quite frequently. I know when I was playing tennis as a junior, especially late teens, from about 16 through to about 20, 21, around that sort of age, that every time I went and played in a tournament, I used to question why was I still playing, because I didn't know what was lacking, and that was the mental side. I just didn't have it together, and it was really holding me back from pursuing my big dream of becoming number one tennis player in the world. And at that time, had I known this information, it would have been a different story. So this is why I'm sharing this with you. So I'm going to give you an example. Like last week, I was out playing golf. I have a hit with my mum. I love my mum very much, and I love spending time with her. And she's a mad golfer. She's addicted to golf. And so it's a great way that I can spend quality time with my mum. You know, us girls got to stick together, right? So we want to make sure that we spend quality time, and because we've got a love of golf in there, then we can do that. So we're very fortunate. So I went and played golf with mum. Had a couple of other clients that came along and played as well, and I played absolutely disgraceful for my level, right? Didn't perform well. I was frustrated. My head was all over the place. I felt like I was, a very high handicap player, as we call it in golf, more like a beginner, that kind of thing. And I was like, where is my game going? Why is it so bad? And what actually happened was that I was so focused, not on golf. I was so focused on work, because I've got a lot of work on at the moment. There's some great things that I'm putting together, online as well. Programs I'm putting together, mentoring programs I want to put together. I had a breakthrough with selling some equipment, on my website recently, and all these other things that I want to do in sport, in work, in life, and everything. So I was just not there at all when I was playing. Now, we weren't competing for anything; we were just playing. But I'm sure you feel the same way as when you actually go out and play, whether you're practicing or you're competing, or you're sort of in a match mode, that you still want to perform well. And so I didn't. And the reason for that was because I wasn't there. Mentally, I wasn't there. I didn't mentally prepare myself either to play. So how could I expect to play well? I couldn't. Now, all this knowledge and everything that I had, I didn't apply anything when I was out there last week. I was like, oh, well, that's just how it is. And that's not right. It's not just how it is. Yeah, sure, we get challenged at times. Yeah, sure, it's going to be more difficult to get our heads into gear, but we can still work on it. Whereas I just like, oh, well, that's just how it is today. Just can't get my head there. So there were certain areas that I actually didn't do. And if we break it down and we really look at it in simple form, I just didn't prepare to play. I was not prepared at all. Didn't warm up. Didn't do any physical warm up. Didn't do any mental preparation. Didn't haven't been working on specific things that I normally do on focusing. Nothing. I just rocked up, was there in body, not in mind. Expected to play well, didn't. I was really annoyed with myself and rolling my eyes in the back of the head. I was very frustrated with myself last in the evening when I got home. But I wasn't there, wasn't mentally prepared. So what we need to make sure that we do is when we're going to compete is that we have to get mentally prepared, other than the physical stuff. The physical stuff, yeah, but however you think and however you feel is going to affect how you play. So we've got to get the mind right. So what are the things that we can do? We can work on routines to prepare, can't we? We can also work on being present and staying in the moment. So remember when I said about how I played last week, my body was there and I showed up physically. I was there, but my mind was not there at all on the golf course. Was not there at all. And I was, like I said, really frustrated. I was so frustrated that when I went out and practiced tennis the next day, I made sure I was 100% there. And so the thing that we need to also be aware of is that time that we allocate to performing in our sport, whether it's practice, whether it's competing, whether it's training, even in the gym, we're giving ourselves permission that that's the time that we need to be there and focused on that specific time. So whether you call it your sport time, you call it your training time, you call it your practice time, whatever, it's about you being there and staying in the moment, not thinking about what you've got to do after when you're finished, or what you've got to do for school, or what you've got to do for college or uni or whatever it is that you're doing, or even going to the shopping to get some food for dinner. We want to make sure that you're working on staying and being present in the moment. And whether you think of your day as a schedule and you've got marked time in the sense of time boxes or compartments, so you've got your morning time schedule and what you do there, your morning compartment and things that you do there. Then you've got your practice time for your sport and what you've got to do there. And then you've got your training time, and I mean training like gym training and physical training to help keep your fitness level to what it needs to be for your sport, and your mental training, whatever it is you need to do for your sport, your dinner time routine, whatever it is you do, and so on, right? So we've got all these different sections set up. So what we want to give ourselves permission and remind ourselves to do is to be staying present and being in the moment of that particular time block that we've allocated to that time of that what we're working on. Okay, so if we're out there competing, then we're in performance mode. Okay, we've got to make sure that we're in that mode. If we're there in practice mode, we've got to make sure we're there in practice mode, and really that's performance mode as well. Okay, if we're there in training mode, then we've got to make sure that that's what we're focusing on is training and bringing the best out. And what I shared with you is that I was just not there. I was so frustrated with myself, and I was thinking about it that evening. I was like, what did I not do? Lots of things, right? Didn't mentally prepare at all, didn't warm up, didn't do anything. So I want you to think of it this way. The only thing that you can do is control what you're doing now. You can't control what's going to happen in a minute from now. You can't control what's going to happen in 2 hours from now. You can't control what's going to happen the next day, the next week. You can control what you're controlling now, because your time is now. Your moment is now. So let's focus on the now, and let's focus on being present. So here's some things that you could do on being present. And this is the one that I found most effective, and I thoroughly recommend that you do this and do it on a daily basis, and you only need to do it for 5 minutes. And you may have heard it from a previous episode that I've done in the past, where I've talked about and I've shared with you like how to do some focused breathing, and there's a 2-minute one and there's a 5-minute one. So you could actually do that as well, because it helps you focus on your breathing and how you do that. And what I've called it is like focused now breathing or focused in the moment breathing. But what you want to do is you breathe in. So this is how you're going to do it. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Now you want to be counting and breathing at the same time. So you don't have to count out loud like that. You can count it in your mind, but I want you to breathe and count. So breathe in and count, hold and count, breathe out and count, and hold and count. And the reason that you want to do that is it teaches you to stay in the moment, because if you stop counting, your mind starts switching off to other things and you start thinking about other things. Other thoughts start popping into your head, and then all of a sudden you notice that you've drifted off somewhere else mentally. So you want to bring yourself back and breathe and count. And if you set the timer on your phone for like 5 minutes, 5 minutes out of 1440 minutes is really nothing, right? 5 minutes out of your day. Best time to do it is in the morning. Whether you do it before training, before practice, after, in the car, by yourself. Make sure you're by yourself when you do it. It's so much easier to do that. But if you're doing that, it helps train you to stay focused and in the moment. And if you do it on a daily basis, it's like learning the skill in your sport, is doing it over and over again. It's the repetition that helps build the muscle. Okay, the brain is a muscle, so we've got to train the muscle. So if you're doing that repeatedly, daily, focused now breathing or focused in the moment breathing, that is really going to help you stay in the moment and get what you want out of your performance. The other thing that you can do, there's a couple of other things. You could set an intention of how you want to play or how you want to train or how you want to perform when you compete. So do you want to, we'll use golf as an example. Do you want to feel like you're swinging really well at the ball? Do you want to feel smooth? Do you want to feel straight? Do you want to feel at ease? You could be thinking of your tennis. You want to just work on staying in the moment. Do you want to feel like you're, moving well to the ball? There's lots of things that you could be focused on in what you want to set up for an intention, but have a simple intention in what you want to accomplish when you're in that. So like, for example, if I go to the gym and I train at the gym, my focus a lot is like I set an intention of, I want to enjoy being there. I want to enjoy being in the moment. I don't want to be watching the clock and watching the time and feeling pressured. I want to enjoy and just stay present in the moment and enjoy each exercise that I do there. So those are the type of things that you want to be thinking about when you're setting an intention of, okay, this is what I want to accomplish in this session. Then that's what the focus is. Again, it helps you focus and stay in the moment because you've set that intention. Even simple things like each time you go there, I want to focus and stay in the moment. That's my intention. Okay, that's a really, really good one to do. Because it teaches you, because you've set that intention, it teaches you to train your brain to stay there. Okay, and when you do that, you perform better anyway, don't you? Of course you do. And there's other things you can do as well. Here's another example. You could listen to something that makes you feel quite calm so that it helps you stay calm when you arrive to wherever you're going to be competing at. That's another good thing that you could do. Or, when you're on your way to wherever you're going to be competing, you could do some focused, now breathing or focused in the moment breathing. You could do something like that as well. You just got to pick some things that are going to help you get yourself mentally prepared to compete, mentally prepared to practice well or perform well, mentally prepared to train well, mentally prepared to hit the gym, well. Doing those things, setting an intention, having focused in the moment breathing and doing it on a daily basis is really going to help you accomplish and get what you want out of your sport. Because if you don't do things like this, if you don't mentally prepare yourself, it's going to kill your performance. You're not going to perform well. And we want to make sure that that happens, okay? Because remember, you want to be able to play your best every time that you're out there. You want to be able to work on staying in the moment every time that you're out there and stay focused on doing what you've got to be doing, okay? That's where you'll get the best results. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'd love it if you could share with me what you liked best about what you heard today. And if you've got friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, love it too if you could share these episodes with your friends so that we can build the Tiffany Mika podcast for you to reach your potential and for your friends to reach your potential as big as we possibly can. And right now, what I want you to do is dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, get out there, go and work on that focused now breathing, and I will talk to you and see you real soon. Take care for now and see you later. Before you go, do you want to build confidence, belief, strength and courage in you to go after your big dreams in your life and in your sport? If you do, go to www.tiffany-mika.com and get a copy of my book, Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life. I look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams.